Visions of power. Beyond the genetic engineering, the de-extinction and the homage to chaos theory, Jurassic Park is a movie about power. Not only the power to create and destroy life, but the power to control others, to dominate them, and to win. Power and the advantages and rewards it brings is deeply rooted in human nature, together with the systems we build that reflect and amplify this nature. But this nature in turn reflects the evolutionary processes that we're all a product of. Jurassic Park cleverly taps into this with a dinosaur power theme, and in fact one of the movie's more compelling narrative threads is the power and dominance of the dinosaurs in the natural world over their human creators who merely have delusions of power. Yet this is also a movie about human power dynamics and how these influence the development, use, and ultimately in this case the abuse of new technologies. There are some interesting side stories about power here. For instance, the power Ian Malcolm draws from his excess of personality. But it's the power dynamic between Hammond, the lawyer Donald Gennaro, and InGen's investors that particularly intrigues me. Here we get a glimpse of the ability of visions of power to deeply influence actions. At a very simple level, Jurassic Park is a movie about corporate greed. Hammond's investors want a return on their investment, and they are threatening to exert their considerable power to get it. Gennaro is their proxy, but this in turn places him in a position of power. He's the linchpin who can make or break the park, and he knows it. Then there's Hammond himself, who revels in his power over people as an entertainer, a charmer, and an entrepreneur. These competing visions of power create a dynamic tension that ultimately leads to disaster, as the pursuit of personal and corporate gain leads to sacrificed lives and morals. In this sense, Jurassic Park is something of a morality tale, a cautionary warning against placing power and profit over what is right and good. Yet this is too simplistic a takeaway from the perspective of developing new technologies responsibly. In reality, there will always be power differentials and power struggles. Not only will many of these be legitimate, including the fiduciary responsibility of innovators to investors, but they are also an essential driving force that prevents society from stagnating. The challenge we face is not to abdicate power, but to develop ways of understanding and using it in ways that are socially responsible. This does not happen in Jurassic Park, clearly, but that doesn't mean that we cannot have responsible innovation or corporate social responsibility that works, or even ethical entrepreneurs. It's easy to see the downsides of powerful organizations and individuals pushing through technological innovations at the expense of others, and there are many downsides. You just need to look at the past 200 years of environmental harm and human disease tied to technological innovation to appreciate this. Yet, innovation that's been driven by profit and the desire to amass and wield power has also created a lot of good. The challenge we face is how we harness the realities of who we are and the world we live in to build a better future for as many people as we can without sacrificing the health and well-being of communities and individuals along the way. In large part, this is about learning how we develop and wield power appropriately, not eschewing it, but understanding and accepting the sometimes complex responsibilities that come with it. And this isn't limited to commercial or fiscal power. Scientists wield power with the knowledge they generate. Activists wield power in the methods they use and the rhetoric they employ. Legislators have the power to establish law. And citizens collectively have considerable power over who does what and how. Understanding these different facets of power and its responsible use is critical to the safe and beneficial development and use of new technologies, not just genetic engineering, but every other technology that touches our lives as well, including the technology that's at the center of our next movie, Never Let Me Go.